Good evening. This is the October 25, 2017 meeting of the Auburn Conservation Commission. This meeting is being broadcast live and is also being recorded for rebroadcast. That video can be seen at auburnguide.com. Before we begin tonight's meeting, I need to ask if anyone in the audience is making a recording of this meeting. There being no indication that that is so, the first item on tonight's agenda is the 7 o'clock public hearing. SWEB Development USA LLC, a notice of intent for a solar photovoltaic system on property located at 430 Rochdale Street. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote. And who's here for SWEB? Come on up. Don't be shy.
I'll try. So I brought the plans in case you want to flip through. They got a little wet on the way in, so
Understood.
at least we have the irony of talking about wetlands with the wet map.
Can you identify yourself, please?
Yeah, Michael Carey.
Okay, Michael.
I'm here with SWEB Development. I'm a project coordinator. And
We need a recording back so you can put up on it, an easel. Is there an easel on it? I think there is. There one here?
I don't know, usually I think people put
There
it
usually
usually.
is. Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, I went to
That's
I want to
okay,
put it on
put
the
it
table
on.
here.
You can
Oh,
put it even up
You
on
could
that.
even set it up like a
Okay.
chair if you'd like.
yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe like
Okay, we're
this.
full of handy suggestions here.
Absolutely. I thought we had an easel.
Great.
Michelle's gonna check and see. They usually bring it on.
Okay.
Yeah, for the round tables, I usually like to flip through.
Yeah.
We usually have PowerPoint, but
Yeah.
try something new this time.
All right, it's all right.
So yeah, we're looking at a project on Rochdale Street,
Mm-hmm.
5.8 megawatts. I believe some of you went on the site visit
We did.
earlier this month.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, that was with our one of our engineers, Nate. So yeah, 5.8 megawatt site on the open fields. We should be the appropriate distances away from wetlands. I think on High Street was where a lot of the interest was. I think Nate spoke to many of your concerns about management of wetlands there. We're going to have basically straw wattle on either side of Rochdale or either side of High Street
Right.
to protect any wetlands during construction. The street is paved. That'll alleviate any dust and particulate during construction. We are going to have trucks going up the road. That's the plan. By the time we're far enough up High Street, we should be adequately away from the wetlands when the paving ends near where it elbows. So yeah, there was another couple of thoughts that Nate had mentioned. A discussion of storing flammable materials for generators. And yes, those will all be stored when they're not being used in the appropriate containment structures. That's pretty standard for our developer or construction team, which we intend to be Commonwealth Electrical. They're actually very close to here, up in, I believe, in Oxford.
Okay.
Yes, padding for any vehicles. I don't have the specs of the padding, but I can provide that to you folks if you'd like to see that. Yeah, any heavy equipment will be stored on pads to avoid impact on the lands. There'll be a bit of grading, not very much, as you guys have seen in the plans. The site is actually eerily well suited for solar. This new program is capped at 6 megawatts, and this field, as is, with just minimal clearing for shading, fits exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very fortunate we don't have to do any grading, very minimal tree clearing. So yeah.
All right. Any questions?
I just have a question of where are you, I did not own the business, so just
Sure.
tell me where you are located on 430 Rochdale. Is it near High Street? How near to High Street is it?
Yeah, so it actually will go around High Street. Let me get a good satellite image here for you. Seas. Give you another show High Street. Can you see this okay?
Yes. Sure.
So, wetlands are in blue.
Mhm.
Here's Rochdale.
Okay,
High Street comes off of Rochdale here.
okay.
It's paved up to about there, where it turns into just a dirt path for ATVs and whatnot. This field is above Rochdale, although you'd never know it driving down Rochdale from the tree cover.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fairly interesting. You know, I grew up in the area. I didn't even know that field was there. So,
No, it's a huge
Yeah.
parcel of land.
yeah, there was really only going to be 2 people who have eyes on the project. One of them being over here, up on the hillside. Sorry, over here.
On Hill.
And and one abutter down here is going to be the only 2 who have really any view of the
And
field
that
from
person
there.
that lives in the house on High Street.
Yep. Well,
Yeah,
they
them too.
will. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Still 3 abutters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, they're going to be pretty well screened. So
Okay.
we're going to put green blocking material. You've seen
Okay.
that
Yeah,
yeah.
material on
Right,
fences,
yeah.
as well as planting trees. These folks are actually very, very favorable towards the project.
Okay.
They do get a lot of teenagers and ATV users up there, so this will fence off that that noise producing activity. So
Okay.
yeah, those 3 have eyes on the project.
Okay.
And,
I'm
yeah,
curious.
so-
Thank you. That's good. Thank
Do
you.
you happen to know who the customers are going to be for the power that's going to be produced?
Yep. So we're intending to put this into the SMART program, which is going to be the next iteration of solar after SREC. There may be an option for community solar. That's going to be a slice of the SMART program. It's an existing program now. The rates for community solar haven't come out yet. That's going to be unfolding over the next few months. But we are in talks with a number of companies who might be able to offer that option for our project. So if you guys in the community want to buy directly from this project, there may be an opportunity for that. So.
And I think, we hear about, gigawatts of power and that sort of thing. Can you translate that to, say, the number of homes that could conceivably be powered by electricity generated from this facility?
It's a good math question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And if you don't know the answer, that's fine.
Well, I'll pose the question, the phone question. So the usual house, in terms of that kind of offtake, takes about 9 kilowatts. So a kilowatt, a megawatt is 1,000
I should get my
kilowatts.
pad out.
So say roughly 6 megawatts, 6,000 kilowatts divided by 9.
Okay.
So that'd be, again, roughly, that's the average home. Some homes have lots of teenagers, some are just a single person, so there's a lot of variety in terms of how many homes, how much power is actually used. But that's the rule of thumb,
Okay.
so to speak. So.
Very good. All right. Any questions from the audience? No. If there are no other questions from the board, is there a motion to close?
So again, this has this very steep slope.
Yeah.
There's going to be a period when this is all open dirt at some point, I imagine.
Yeah, so during the construction, sorry, continue.
No, I was just going to say, so can you just reinforce what it is you're going to do for the protection, stormwater protection?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. So it is going to be straw wattle around the edges, and there is drainage and collection pools within the site. So everything is intended to be contained within the area.
Sort of settling ponds or drainage ponds or those sorts of things that would stop it from going sort of straight.
Exactly, and it's all contained in the work area. So yeah, fortunately, there is a bit of slope. There's a bit of natural drainage here, and during the construction, yeah, that is going to be the primary mitigation for that stormwater.
Straw wattle's really enough.
Yeah, our engineers, that's the usual approach that they've taken. So
I was under the impression you weren't doing a lot of a ton of clearing. Wasn't a lot of grading, right?
there's not much. It's really only in this area. Now you guys who've been to site know that it looks like trees on the map. This is basically all grass. But this area here is overgrown trees and some
Right.
scrubby growth and
So
whatnot.
it's grass, you don't have to remove the grass, you just dig on or build on top.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That
So,
gives
but
it
there
some
will be
buffer.
some digging.
Right.
There will be some excavation as we get the posts and things in.
Right.
But some of that grass is going to be retained.
That's exactly
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't have to gut the place before we
Okay, all right.
before we install.
It's very lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're again very fortunate. It's a good site. If it was full of trees like a lot of other sites are, you would have that grubbing that has to take place. But yeah, we're fortunate here.
All right.
Okay.
If there are no other questions, is there a motion to close?
Make a motion that we close the hearing on the SWB development.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, it's a vote.
Thank
All right, I anticipate that we will render a decision tonight, so
Okay,
we'll be in touch.
great. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. So,
You want to call me tomorrow, for like waiting room, I can,
definitely.
okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Alrighty.
I should just stop in. We're here almost every day. All right, good luck, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. 3 months, Mike, 3 months.
All right, the next item on our agenda is a 7:10 public hearing, Martin Reisner, R&I Real Estate Development LLC, for an abbreviated notice of resource area delineation for property located at 319 Washington Street. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed to vote. Come on up.
I was thinking about you guys last night while it was pouring rain. You guys see? Did you guys, weren't you guys seeding and stuff? The other
Oh,
project?
yeah. Sword Street, yes, we seeded, so
Yeah.
fortunately.
Yeah. How did that work out? Did you go?
I
look at it?
actually had, there's someone else who was monitoring it, so
Yeah,
I
okay.
have not seen it since, but I know that was planted and seeded, so that's great.
31 Sword Street, is it that number?
So good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm here, my name is Thomas Regula. I'm here on behalf of Goddard Consulting and R&I Real Estate Development. This is 319 Washington Street in Auburn. It is a roughly 8.85 acre parcel located along Route 20. It has an easement run through center, roughly the center line here. And we have a existing Santander Bank up gradient along Millbury Street over here. Resources on site consist of just a BBW located in the northwest corner. The rest of the lot is a mix of wooded uplands and meadow uplands. The meadow is generally through this area, and starting just after the easement, we get our tree line. This is not shown on the plan. However, after that, it's a mix of white pine, glossy buckthorn, and other typical pine species. Characteristics of the wetland, it's silky dogwood, plenty of elm and alder as well throughout the area. So this hearing, I guess, is really just to get this conversation open for this. I'm not sure if any of you had had a chance to visit the site. I know that at the previous meeting you had discussed potential for that, but would have let us know if you wanted to visit the site. So assuming that hasn't happened,
That's correct. At least I haven't been out there. Of course, I can't, I think, let's see, I've lived in Auburn since 1990, so I probably have passed by this property 5,000-10,000 times. I haven't really kept count. So it's, I think all of us are very familiar with it. But if you're available on Saturday, I mean, I would imagine the site visit won't take all that long to complete,
okay.
you know.
But I'll drive by.
Okay,
I can go by. I can go.
yeah, so perhaps 9 o'clock on Saturday?
Okay, yeah, works for me.
All right.
So when we connect this.
And it appears, Sheila, that you anticipated that we would continue this matter to the next hearing in November, so
Did I? I take it down.
we assume that's acceptable to you, that
Yes,
you'll
yeah.
continue this to November 15th? All right, very good.
At 7 o'clock.
All right, so is there a motion to continue?
So moved.
Second motion, yeah.
Motion to continue the public hearing
To
to
November 15th at 7 p.m.
November 15th to 7
And Michelle, did you second?
I have to sign that continuation. Those are for me, I take it.
Yes.
So what would
Thank
we
you.
look at this whole thing? What would we be looking at the whole area?
Well, no, just the area of
Just
resource
where? Just
delineation
over
right
here, okay.
on Washington Street.
As far as here, okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed to vote? All right.
Yeah, this is one of the tax credits.
Yeah, over here, the building's over here.
Right, there's a house up here. From that property, I don't know if it's on that property. It's up here.
Yeah.
That's the farmer's daughter.
Okay, yeah.
She goes up behind St. Anthony, she owns all that property, so that's what the house is.
I didn't realize Millbury Street carried over.
Correct, it goes over here, but she gets over here, so she owns it.
At least mine's in the back.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
So you're gonna meet him at the site then?
Yes, at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, she owns that.
Have a nice evening, everybody.
You too. And we'll meet you right at that, we'll meet you right at that corner.
Okay.
Okay?
Don Post I was here, the farmer's daughter.
Where are you gonna be?
We're gonna be right where the Welland area is.
Right at the wetland on the site.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
9 o'clock Saturday.
Okay, in the corner.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, thanks.
You too.
There's a house up above, right above.
I thought it is, but
That's fine,
I
that's
was
fine.
thinking about the
That was the
mountains,
old
it was
Sylvia
pouring down
Post.
rain, I was like,
She
yeah,
owned all
that's
that
it.
land, Celia Post.
Did she?
Hopefully
She
it's
passed
in
away.
it.
Don Post is he's the farmer,
Mm-hmm.
and Cynthia Post, who owns all the land up above, is the farmer's daughter.
Right.
That's how it got named, and she owns all the property up there, and then her house is much further behind the top of this property.
That parcel's been vacant for
Yes?
a really long time,
Forever.
We walked that site
can remember.
probably 5 years ago, was it maybe?
maybe even
It
longer.
was almost a kangaroo court in here, if I recall. And
Really? I
Oh,
don't remember
yeah.
doing any adjudication.
it was
I don't remember.
out of control, and you basically had to, it might have been when Miss Weston was the chair, but it was kind of out of control.
Okay.
There were accusations going around, and you made it clear that this is not a court of law, this is just a public hearing. You don't get stuff like that, you don't remember that?
The trauma probably, I blocked it out of
It
my
was,
mind.
I'm trying to remember who on the site, it was me, it was myself, you, Dan, and like 2 other people, I think.
Chuck?
And Chuck, yeah.
Okay.
There was, I remember there was autumn olive plants all along the back, and Dan was showing me.
The autumn olives.
The autumn olive.
Okay.
That was quite a few years ago.
Was ever anything there? I really don't.
I think it's always been vacant land. And then, of
Yeah.
course, they sold off a chunk of it for the bank, so.
The banks, yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was.
Good to walk.
Remember anything being there? One of the boys have a house up there, don't they?
No,
I hope so.
that belonged to Rothera, who now bought over it.
Redo something.
Over at,
We can. Is Bill Clarity coming in at 7:20?
Is that, yeah,
Okay, we have,
wait a
If you
minute.
go up
we
beyond.
have like 4
Shades,
minutes.
where it's
So
at,
anyway,
Then Rothera had a house in, he
Oh,
just moved
wait a
over
minute.
to-
I don't think he's gonna be able
Water
to
farms.
make it. He had
Okay.
something else, I'm pretty sure. He
That
sent me
house
an
is
email.
sold.
Okay.
Why don't
We
you
have,
print out all this stuff?
we have some of your notes.
do, we
that
do.
can do, if you want to.
Yeah,
Well,
I
we
think
have-
that, yeah, that's what
we
I
have
think I
the
said to
meeting
him, that
minutes.
I printed out
We have
stuff.
23 and,
yeah, so,
But I don't think he's gonna be able to make it, I think he said
okay,
something else had come up.
all right.
20 and
You think
13.
you'll be able to see us in November or no?
I can't,
I think we were just gonna kinda go over what he sent us, and if we had any questions or anything, we could.
All right,
I am not going to be here for the November 15th meeting. I am really going to be in Jamaica. I leave that morning, like literally.
I think she plans her vacations around our meetings, what do you think?
Kinda sounds like that.
That, you guys changed it, remember? That shouldn't be a
That's right,
week that we
that's
went.
right, you're
So
right, you're off the
actually-
hook.
I'm gonna speak up for myself. I was trying.
did change it.
Yeah, that's
We did
not-
change
Yeah, yeah.
that's all right.
So I am gonna just say,
That stuff.
What's that?
you know,
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. We know where your priorities are.
Yeah, really. Not that one. What happens if I have to miss that one too?
Well, she
We
can't,
still
but
have
you
3.
can't because you're the rookie.
Yeah, you can't.
That's fine. We have,
See, I'll let
with
you
5 members,
There's
we can
still
have a
3.
quorum with 3 people.
okay.
Don't have my.
I'll be here.
So, it's okay.
I'm going nowhere.
We can do minutes.
Okay.
Why don't we do minutes?
All right.
Is there
We need
a
to-
course that we should be taking?
We need to issue,
Is there
what
a
are
course we're
conditions
taking
for
or
it?
something we should go
Yeah.
to
What?
What do
as
you-
volunteers in
Okay.
town?
Oh, I've
There's
done it
something-
a few times.
I've
Something
done
in
it.
November.
Yes.
Is it November we need to go
It's
to that
November
meeting, right?
4th or
28th or
something
something?
like that.
It's like, it's Robert's Rules of Orders, the
Okay.
open meeting law,
Okay.
that sort of thing.
I was
The
at it.
28th is like Thanksgiving weekend. I'm
I
not
know,
doing
it's right
it that
after.
week.
I think
It's
it's
right
right
after.
It's actually,
I don't-
it's the next Monday or
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Okay,
I
all
grabbed a
right.
It wasn't in the packet. then.
No, it wasn't in the
Yeah, they
packet.
printed
All
that.
right. Okay, so anyway,
All right.
Ms. Conroy was kind enough to do meeting minutes for August 23rd and September 13th, and I did have some time.
27th is almost done, I don't wanna shock you.
Okay,
No, no,
that's
no.
fine. So I actually had an opportunity to review them. I will say that I had only one change for the September 13 meeting minutes,
And
and
that was right over here.
just a
Miss
few.
it, I missed.
a few changes to page 2 of the August 23rd meeting minutes.
It looks like that's been updated.
Which one?
Yeah, those are amended.
The stapled ones are updated.
Okay, cool.
Double
It's all
sided.
So
set.
if you want to take a moment to review them.
All right, good. I wasn't here, so I have to.
Well, that's right.
Did you want to go over anything about what I emailed everybody? I guess I didn't print out anything. Was there clarity?
We can talk about it. Why don't we
Okay.
just review the
Right here?
meeting
Okay.
minutes and
I
then we can talk
actually read
about
it online.
Yeah, you emailed it, I think.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is that what we're talking
it's
about?
kind enough to print it.
There's another thing.
All right.
This one.
Let's stick.
I'm
No
sorry.
multitasking.
Stay on point.
One thing.
Okay.
She asked me that question.
That's fine. Okay.
And after that.
Oh, Dan. Oh, I took it and come back in the rain to get it.
No, we were in the downstairs in the foyer.
Okay, hey,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Okay.
Okay. Have we all reviewed the meeting minutes for August 23rd?
I'm done with that.
I'm
Michelle?
You have any comment?
I read slow.
You were absent, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I did the August 23rd one, which
Okay.
was stupid because I wasn't here and I can't vote on it, so it doesn't really
Okay.
matter.
No, it
Now
doesn't
I'm
matter.
on the
It's
second
important
page
to
of
stay,
it.
All right, so is there a motion?
I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes of Wednesday, August 23rd, 2017, as amended and presented here.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstentions?
Me,
Okay,
I
great.
abstain.
Okay, that's good.
And then, how about September 13th?
You can A++.
Okay, is there a motion?
I move to accept the meeting minutes for September 13th, 2017.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, it's a vote. All right,
So,
and then, oh, I have one question for you. You added
Yeah.
Pin Rock to our
Yes,
agenda. What's
right.
that about?
That's right.
Well, they're building a home up there. I guess it's pretty much an enclosed shell. It looks, pretty finished on the outside.
Did they file with us?
They did file with us, but the filing was back August of 2008. They did apply for a extension, which was, I'm going back.
Okay, well, no, but I'm just curious when the extension permit was granted.
September 14th, 2011. Is that in that time frame there where they give the
I mean, I'll have to
extra?
look at this,
That was
the statute.
2012. I think I have that here.
And they just started construction now?
No, they've had construction going on. Remember they had there was a dirt road going and they had a problem with a telephone pole. So they had to move the street over, and by doing that, then they had to put in a pipe.
Okay.
So they're supposed to be putting hay bales all the way up the street, all the way up around where they're putting in the septic system.
And have they?
There's no,
And did someone call?
no, the building inspector came back and told me.
Okay.
He said there's no erosion control
Did he
issues there
issue
at all.
an order?
No, he didn't.
All right. Okay.
No, he just came back and told me about it, and then I was supposed to bring it to your attention.
Okay.
So what's happening now is that they're going to be putting in the septic system, which that is within the 100-foot buffer. If you look on, have you got the plan?
I do not have the
Yes,
plan.
I'm sorry.
This is
Thinking I gave it to you, and I
Probably back a
didn't.
chair,
on
right?
that, is it?
No, it's not, no, that's something totally different.
Okay.
So,
Oh, it's in here, yeah.
so here's right up there at the that dark area is where the septic system's going in, and if you see the hay bales are going up both sides of the driveway,
Right.
and then up and around, and there's nothing there.
This plan?
Where is it?
2007.
Yeah, well, it was 2008, and then that's the same plan that was,
I
submitted.
mean,
It's
I mean-
25.
I wonder if the extension permit is still in effect.
Let me just see. I thought I had saved that.
Yeah.
It's already short, here it goes.
But we'll take a look, and it sounds like we may need to issue an enforcement order.
Well, I don't know why they didn't have any erosion control up there. I wonder if they had it when they put the culvert in,
I don't know.
unless it's just all deteriorated and they pulled it out.
So do you know when they started construction? Are you saying this has gone on for like years?
I'm not exactly sure when I probably should have checked to see when the building permit was pulled, but
Okay.
right now, the house is has is a totally enclosed shell, painted and everything down, and I went to get some pictures, and I got
Okay.
short on time.
All right.
But the issue is that now they're putting in the septic system,
I-
which is in that 100-foot buffer.
I understand. All right, so we'll take a look on Saturday.
I want to do that Saturday too, yeah.
All right. Can I keep this?
Yeah?
Thank you. Okay.
So will you take pictures for me?
Oh, I will. You betcha.
Well, here's the Extension Act, I've got it here.
Okay.
Okay. The period beginning August 15th, 2008 and continuing through August 15th, 2010. Okay. The general special law 200 affects the existence during the tolling period shall be extended for a 2-year period, but then I heard it was more than that.
So that's still
You said you had one for
2010 to-
2011,
Yes, I do
right?
have an extension 2011. But, and it
Till-
did begin, but it
I
said
can't
August
imagine it would be extended for that long.
That's still right
August
along
of
here.
2008. See, well, it was August 2008, imagine.
Who's the
August
applicant?
15th, this was August 8th,
8 to,
August
even 8 to
4th.
10 to 12.
Who is the applicant?
This is Stonewall.
It's still up?
Yeah,
According to that.
Emerson Homes,
Oh, yeah,
The
it's
time.
still up. That's still up.
Burton Engineering did the plan.
All right, and we granted the extension permit in,
2011, September. So it was only good until 2014.
they should
Extended
have,
it for 3 years
applied, they should
for
have
another
requested
extension.
another extension permit.
Yeah,
What, what, I think we need to send them a letter saying that we think they need another extension permit and that they need to see us in November.
all right.
Because I think we are
Actually,
within,
if they're putting in,
Looks like it's right on there.
can we send them a letter saying you need to get the hay bales up like now?
well, you-
Before you do the, before you do
They're
know what I
not
mean?
going to be doing the septic right away anyway because they don't have everything they need for the Board of Health yet.
Okay.
But,
well, I think your
Yeah.
suggestion is well taken, because what we can also say is there's a question, at least in my mind, and I'm gonna need to research it, Sheila.
It's behind the trailer house. Way-
That's
I
where you
mean-
have
That-
I mean, I think if, I think they probably should have come in to request another extension.
yeah,
I mean, that's unlike them. they're pretty on top of things.
Well, I don't know if, I mean, this was the original one, I don't think he owns it still.
Do you think there was a sale?
Yeah, oh, there's some, Mark, that's what S's last name.
Well, then we need to figure out who the property
Yeah, so
owner is.
David Meter was the one at the time, I think he was doing the work. I think that guy lived in New Hampshire or something.
All right, before we can send a letter to anyone, we have to figure out who the property owner is.
Yeah, it definitely isn't Dunlop anymore.
All right, well,
So what would happen in that, would that order stay in effect
no.
with the new owner?
Well, look, first of all, it appears that if we issued the extension order in 11, all right, it would have been good for 3 years,
Right,
okay, through 14. Clearly, the work wasn't done in 14 or 15.
yep,
My hunch is that, so if we can, I can look at the registry of deeds and see when the sale was.
yeah.
Why don't we do this? We'll go on Saturday, we'll visit the site, I'll go online. I'm sure the assessor's
I
office
can even
has,
get it from the assessors probably.
the assessors will be able to tell us who the current owner is.
Yeah, and they'll have the sale date and everything in the assessor's office.
And then,
Should.
at that point, we can send a letter. I mean, at this point, because I don't think there's an order, a valid order of conditions, I think that gives us grounds to just issue a cease and desist
Yeah.
and an enforcement order. But let's find out what's going on there, who owns the property.
Do you want to please sign an enforcement order and then I can?
Sure.
Mike, do you recall this house? This
No.
was a house that was way behind the industrial park, I think, when shortly after I joined the board.
Okay.
And we walked in, and I remember there was like a big gallon of gas or something, and we were like, we brought it up like, yeah, you can't leave a gallon of gas outside. And we had to hook it through the woods, and it was an older building, it was a shell.
I do remember
And there were
that.
signs inside saying, anyone caught in here will die, remember? Like, it was some, I've got a pretty good memory.
I guess you do.
You do, better than mine.
But that house was even crumbling back then, like, it was kind of like,
Yeah.
it was being worked on, but it was just like, she described it like a shell. There wasn't really much inside.
All right.
That was
Okay.
10 years ago.
Well, we'll definitely take a look at this
Okay,
week.
so we'll do that this year.
I'm sorry.
So here's the enforcement order. We're gonna make a motion on that?
There's nothing, well, no, because we haven't,
Okay.
I mean,
I mean, are we worried they're gonna do something tomorrow or
Yeah.
Friday?
well, I
No.
can't
What
go
is
out
the
there
building
now.
inspecting?
No, we
What is the building inspector saying?
You know what?
It's like
He
hearsay.
just said that there's no erosion
Hearsay's not
control
enough.
there.
What is
Hearsay is
the
not,
building? What is the, how far are,
It's within the 100 feet, the
I
septic.
mean, the building, how far are they with the building, do you
They've
think?
got the total outside completed, windows painted. It looks like somebody could
They
be
could
living
be there
there,
tomorrow,
but it's
literally.
just a shell on the inside.
look, on my authority, okay, unless we're all gonna go out there Saturday, on my authority, I can issue the enforcement order.
Okay,
It can be ratified in November, all right? So why don't you just give me a blank sheet?
yeah,
Okay, so hold this one, save it for the next meeting,
okay.
and then, yeah, and then we'll take a look. And then, like, you think you can probably get the owner information tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. Great, thank you. All right, so, as you know, and probably you've seen, they are doing repaving. And Mr. Clarity was kind enough to send us some information concerning what they're doing and specifically where they're doing the repaving. So, apparently 2 sections of I-290 in Auburn and Worcester, an area east of Swanson Road through to the western edge of Bridge W-44-104, and that carries 290 over the P&W Railroad. And then there's a second section, I'm sorry, there's also limits of work include the ramps at Auburn Street and Hope Avenue. So basically, if you reviewed the materials, he describes the scope of work. It indicates that they will be putting in erosion control measures prior to construction. I mean, I think they don't have to file with us. I think if any of us become aware of the fact that there's an issue or problem with the erosion control measures, I think we can certainly contact Mr. Clarity.
Yeah.
We've been in touch with him before when the detention basin on Route 20 He's been a good resource and he's been good to work with, so
Yeah,
I think, he's a professional, he knows what he's doing, so I would anticipate that there should not be any issues.
there was some tree removal too.
Mhm. I see that. It says also adjusting, rebuilding, and remodeling drainage structures. Do you know when they're going to start their work? Is it going to be this fall?
Did it say on there?
It doesn't.
I think it says soon.
Yeah.
Soon.
Soon, I know. but it's-
Great.
All right, I know.
Is that a term of art,
I
soon?
think it's, yeah,
I think it is.
I think it's a construction term.
Yeah, you've been told by contractors,
Yeah.
right?
Soon is good.
Oh, well, we'll
Yes,
be there
soon.
soon.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe we could find out, or if you think you'll be speaking to him, ask him when they hope to start.
You know, he might have emailed me that I didn't
Okay,
print out that part.
okay. And then finally, we have to do an order of conditions.
Ready?
All right.
I'm ready. Oh, but we gotta give it first, then before you sign it.
All right.
All right, for Sweb Development USA, 430 Rochdale Street, Auburn, Mass. I make a motion that we issue a standard order. Plus 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. I don't recall when they have those panels in as far as snow removal.
I don't think you have to worry about that.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
all right. And 11,
Mhm.
12?
There's no wetland
There's no wetland
restoration.
restoration. I think that's it. Oh, and I'd like to add a stipulation that the heavy equipment be stored on appropriate padding or mats, and that any, oh, wait. And that any fuels or other flammable materials are stored in an appropriate area according to best management practices. I
In
can
a
use
storage
that phrase again.
A storage
You
facility.
can say with secondary containment.
With secondary containment, even better.
So the fuels and flammable materials will be stored in, what was that again? I'm sorry.
With secondary containment. So it's just a second.
Okay,
In appropriate storage areas,
in appropriate storage areas. Okay,
subject to.
Best management practices, that was the buzzword phrase.
subject
for the
to
last-
best
right.
management.
I like it.
I do too.
That's good.
BMPs are important.
Right. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Heard that, I never knew what it was.
Give me the numbers again.
Okay,
Okay, so it's going to be a standard order plus 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and 11. And then it's 2 special conditions.
thank you.
So is there a second to that motion?
A second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote.
Okay, you can sign it now. Good plan.
Here.
Signature's
This is
getting
what
better. It's not.
No, it's not. No, it's
So
not.
Allison, did you get your packet?
I did.
Okay,
I
good.
did it now.
Oh, all right. All right, I just kind of threw it together just because they dropped it off today.
It's really something you'd rather hide.
Excuse me.
So that project has to go in front of the planning board, zoning board, plus conservation. There are 5 separate lots. There's 2 notice of intents and 3 requests for determinations.
Wow.
Sounds like it's a pretty large
Oh,
project, huh?
they came in two guys, 2 times bringing in the stuff.
So when is this going to hit the planning board? you know?
2
Yeah,
weeks before
let me
us.
see, the planning board, let me see, it's the week after, is it the 28th?
It's 2, right? Usually it's
Uh,
right before us.
yeah,
Record ours got changed.
Can't believe it's the end of
It's the
October.
28th, they're hitting the planning board.
Okay.
The 16th, they're hitting ZBA, they're coming to us the 15th, and then they're going to planning on the 7th for an A&R plan. Because I guess they had subdivided it, I'm sorry, it was already subdivided into 5. They brought it, but apparently the assessor's office never changed their records. because they did submit it to have it just one lot, which I don't know if that ever got recorded, I think it did. So now they're coming back to subdivide it into 8 lots, and the 3 other lots, I don't know what's happening with that, but
Okay.
really just 2 of those lots are within the wetland area for the notice of intent.
Okay, very good. Is there, excuse me, is there any other business? If there's no other business, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second it?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?